Eric Prince, founder of Blackwater, former Navy SEAL, and a great friend of the site, retired Navy SEAL. I guess it's a permanent deal. Eric Prince, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Alex. Good morning.
Good morning to you, or is it good evening? I don't know the time change.
It's evening here.
It is evening there. So it's first of all, your thoughts on this, the FBI saying 99% chance, multiple agencies hacked Hillary's email server.
Sure. I mean, it's not like the foreign intelligence agencies leave a thank you note after they've hacked and stolen your data.
We've requested that, and they never oblige for some reason.
For some reason not. But, I want to give color on why the FBI, why Comey had to do that last week.
Yeah, please do.
Because of Wienergate and the sexting scandal, the NYPD started investigating it through a subpoena, through a warrant. They searched his laptop and sure enough found those 650,000 emails. They found way more stuff than just the more information pertaining to the inappropriate sexting the guy was doing. They found State Department emails. They found a lot of other really damning criminal information, including money laundering, including the fact that Hillary went to this sex island with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Bill Clinton went there more than 20 times. Hillary Clinton went there at least 6 times. The amount of garbage that they found in these emails of criminal activity by Hillary, by her immediate circle, and even by other Democratic members of Congress was so disgusting. They gave it to the FBI, and they said, we're going to go public with this if you don't reopen the investigation, and you don't do the right thing with timely indictments. I believe, I know, and this is from a very well-placed source of mine at 1PP, One Police Plaza in New York. The NYPD wanted to do a press conference announcing the warrants and the additional arrests they were making in this investigation, and they've gotten huge pushback to the point of coercion from the Justice Department, with the Justice Department threatening to charge someone that had been unrelated in the accidental heart attack death of Eric Garner, the guy almost 2 years ago. So that's the level of pushback the Obama Justice Department is doing against actually seeking justice in these email and other related criminal matters. There's 5 different parts of the FBI conducting investigation into these things with constant downdraft from the Obama Justice Department. So in the, I hope, unlikely and very unfortunate event that Hillary Clinton is elected president, we will have a constitutional crisis that we have not seen, I believe, since 1860.
Wow. So, Eric, so much to break down in that, but you're saying that the NYPD, if I'm not mistaken, is readying more warrants. They believe there'll be indictments coming down the pike very soon. Let's recap. What are the key details that you're breaking here on Breitbart News Daily?
NYPD was the first one to look at that laptop. Weiner and Huma Abedin, his wife, the closest advisor of Hillary Clinton for 20 years, have both flipped. Okay, they are cooperating with the government. They both have, they see potential jail time of many years for their crimes, for Huma Abedin sending and receiving and even storing hundreds of thousands of messages from the State Department server and from Hillary Clinton's own homebrew server, which contain classified information. Weiner faces all kinds of exposure for the inappropriate sexting that was going on and for other information they found. So NYPD first gets that computer. They see how disgusting it is. They keep a copy of everything, and they pass a copy onto the FBI, which finally pushes the FBI off, off their chairs, making Comey reopen that investigation, which was indicated in a letter last week. The point being, NYPD has all the information, and they will pursue justice within their right if the FBI doesn't. And there is all kinds of criminal culpability through all the emails they've seen of that 650,000, including money laundering, underage sex, pay for play, and of course, plenty of proof of inappropriate handling, sending, receiving of classified information up to SAP level special access programs. So the plot thickens. NYPD was pushing because, as an article just quoted one of the chiefs, okay, that's the level just below commissioner. He said, as a parent, as a father with daughters, he could not let that level of evil continue.
This is remarkable. Let's discuss the internal debate that seems to be happening within various law enforcement agencies right now. It seems like there seems to be incredible factionalization, not just in the FBI, but the NYPD as well, on whether to pursue these things, when to pursue them, how hard to pursue them. Even you have to wonder about places like the U.S. Attorney's Office of New York, where you have, which seems to be a place that actually has integrity in the American justice system right now, and they seem to be wanting to pursue this quite diligently. I can't make heads or tails out of it, Eric, but you're a much better source than I am. Describe some of this to us.
Well, again, the FBI can investigate, but they can't convene a grand jury. They can't file charges. Okay, the prosecutors, the Justice Department has to do that. Now, as I understand it, Preet Bharara, the Manhattan prosecutor, has gotten a hold of some of this, and from what I hear, he's a stand-up guy, and hopefully he does the right thing.
Yeah, well, and that's bad news for the Clintons, because he's someone who has a sterling reputation. He's a Democrat, but he's a guy who's had a sterling reputation of calling it like he sees it and not being bought and paid for by the special interests. And a very tenacious guy. So he is not a guy you want on your case. Let's put it that way.
Certainly, but yet, if people are willing to bend or break the law and don't really care about the Constitution or due process, and if you're willing to use Stalinist tactics against someone, who knows what level of pressure. The point being, fortunately, it's not just the FBI, 5 different offices that are in the hunt for justice. Yeah. But the NYPD has it as well. But both, as the Wall Street Journal has talked about, they exposed downdraft back pressure from the Justice Department, as well as the NYPD has, trying to keep the sunlight and the disinfecting effects of the truth and transparency from shining on this great evil that has gone on and is slowly being exposed. So the Justice Department is trying to run out the clock to elect Hillary Clinton to prevent any real justice from being done.
So where's the mayor's office on this? We haven't heard from Bill de Blasio or anyone like that.
From what I hear, de Blasio wants to stay away from this. The evidence is so bad, the email content is so bad that I think even he wants to stay away from it, which is really telling.
Yeah, and who else is involved? Are there any other players that are unexpected and not being reported in the rest of the press?
Not that I've heard. The other legislators have not been named yet. I wish the NYPD would have a press conference. I wish they'd do it today. These are the unusual sliding door moments of history that people can stand up and be counted and make a real difference, and to save a republic, save a Constitution that we actually need and love, and that our forefathers fought and died for. For any cop that is aware of this level of wrongdoing, and they have veterans in their family or deceased veterans in their family, they owe it to them to stand up, to stand and be counted today and shine the light of truth on this great evil.
Yeah, but how realistic is that going to be at this point? I mean, that would just be such a monumental bombshell.
From what I understand, up to the commissioner or at least the chief level in the NYPD. They wanted to have a press conference, and DOJ, Washington people, political appointees have been exerting all kinds of undue pressure on them to back down.
So, and you believe this has to do with the fact that we're in the middle of the election and people don't want to be perceived as overly politicizing it?
I think it's sure that's the argument for it. But the fact is, if you know that if the left had emails pointing to Donald Trump being involved in an underage, visiting multiple times an island with underage sex slaves, basically emails, you know they'd be talking about it and they'd be shouting it from the rooftops. This kind of evil, this kind of true dirt on Hillary Clinton. I mean, look, you don't have to make any judgments. Just release the emails. Just dump them. Let them out there. Let people see the light of truth. For all the noise. Yeah,
it's true. It's actually worked in the past sometimes. That tactic does work for them, because what ends up happening is that they will declare after we've had 45 minutes to try to read through the emails, they will declare that we found nothing and everyone should move on.
Sure, but for even the claims of Podesta or Donna Brazile that these emails were fabricated, all the rest, there is all kinds of forensic analysis done that shows that indeed they are not. They were not fabricated, but they are very legitimate. And then that's the WikiLeaks stuff, and this is stuff coming right off a hard drive that was owned by Weiner and his wife Huma Abedin, Hillary's closest advisor for the last 20 years. This is not from some hacker or anything else. This is a laptop seized from a warrant for a criminal investigation.
That is incredible. And so we're thinking that Huma is going to try to cut a deal for herself, because she's under oath said that she turned over all relevant devices. It doesn't include at least 2 of these Weiner devices. So we're thinking this could be jail time for her unless she cuts herself a deal, correct?
Correct. There's a minimum of obstruction of justice and all kinds of wrongful handling of classified information. Because remember, this laptop was in the possession of Weiner, who did not have a security clearance. And there's many of these emails were from her Yahoo account, which had State Department emails forwarded to them so she could easier print the messages, scan them, and send them on to Hillary. That's the carelessness that Hillary and her staff had for the classified information that the intelligence community risks life and limb to collect in challenged, opposed areas around the world.
That's Eric Prince.
In the White House.
Eric Prince is the founder of Blackwater, and he's a retired Navy SEAL. Eric, I don't want to dwell too much on this for now. Maybe we'll have you back after the election and get back on point on these topics. But I did want to ask you about all this happy talk we're hearing on Mosul right now. And I know this is front and center in people's minds at the moment, but it is still an important story, and I want to get your take on it.
Well, more than just a happy talk, call it the politicization, the political attack on Mosul. Yeah, we want to retake Mosul, but it could have been done months ago. But of course, it's done right around the election. Big pressure from the administration from Washington on the military to suddenly move now and to take it, to have a happy story, so-called victory prior to the election. Clearly, they are not going to conquer Mosul. The media is reporting, they're in this city or they're in the outskirts. There's a long ways to go to capture the city of Mosul. It's going to be more like fighting in Stalingrad. There is no plan for the almost 1 million refugees or civilians that are still in and around the city. And there's really no plan for what do you do afterwards. And the most bipolar part of American foreign policy is that we have Iranians, okay? Iranian Revolutionary Guard, Quds Force officers in uniform leading elements of the Iraqi army called Popular Mobilization Units, which are all Shia militias, and they're basically identical to what Hezbollah is in Lebanon, basically an all-Iranian Shia unit, in many cases death squads, which makes any Sunni say, I either have to side with ISIS or I'm going to be fighting against a Shia death squad who's coming to kill me. So at the same time, we have American special forces, American U.S. military personnel trying to guide the Iraqi army, operating side by side with Iranian Rev Guard people. A few hundred miles away off the coast of Yemen, we have Iranians shooting surface-to-surface anti-ship missiles at U.S. Navy warships patrolling off the coast in Yemen in international waters. I cannot imagine how we have a foreign policy so screwed up that we have those two things occurring in the same theater simultaneously.
Yeah, it will be dangerous waters ahead. Thankfully, we've got guys like Eric Prince to give us the hard truth here at Breitbart News, the Blackwater founder and retired Navy SEAL, joining us from Hong Kong. Thanks so much for being so generous with your time, Mr. Prince. We will talk to you later on.